Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Your Number One Fan podcast. I'm your host, Kim Spencer, your number one fan. Episode topics will vary with the ultimate goal of providing the inspiration, encouragement, and tools for you to create your most authentic, happy life. I want this to be your weekly comfort podcast that also gives you a little kick in the butt to live your life to the fullest and not care what anybody says. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into the good stuff. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Your Number One Fan podcast. Today I have Angela with me. I'm so excited to chat with her. We've known each other or of each other for many years. I actually graduated with her brother. Such a sweet family. And I guess I will let you introduce yourself and kind of what we're going to get into today. I don't want to say anything that's incorrect because I know it's very complicated, everything you've gone through. And I do want to touch on just the rest of your life as well. So I know that you are not just that situation. So without further ado, you can kind of introduce yourself and anything that you want to mention. The floor is yours.
Sure. So my name is Angela Murphy, formerly Angela Pandolfi. I am, oh God, where do I even start? I'm a Central Neurocytoma survivor, and it's only been like 7 months, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Along with that, I work from home. I'm born and raised in Buffalo, New York. I still live here. My husband and I have a dog who is our life. And I work for a bank and I work remote, but then my whole job has kind of really taken a huge transition since COVID, which has been a huge impact on my career and kind of like where I wanted it to go, which is a huge like impact on me and everything that I do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Congratulations. I know that your wedding was recently, so amazing. How did that go?
Well, I never thought that like looking back on it as a kid, I never thought I'd have to worry about like wearing a wig for my wedding.
Yeah.
But if like you look at pictures, like my hair looks gorgeous. You would never know that was a wig and that was a wig.
Yeah.
And I like had panic attacks
Ugh.
like weeks leading up to the wedding. I was like, oh my God, like I can't have extensions. My hair's not long enough. I have to wear a wig. But like the week of the wedding, I was like, screw it. Like, who cares? Like, it's my wedding. Like, it's going to be fine. And I got to the point where I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I told all the vendors, they were asking me questions. I was like, I don't care. Do whatever. You do this for a living. Whatever.
Yeah.
And it was, our day was perfect. It was
I feel
like the weather was perfect. The
amazing.
venue was perfect. The food is amazing. We had over 200 people at our wedding.
Oh my gosh.
200 people. Yep. We invited like 250 and we had 226 that ended up coming. And I don't know if you've ever been to like a church wedding before. We got married at St. Christopher's.
Okay.
And like church weddings are very like solemn.
Mm-hmm.
And the priest that married us, I've known him almost my entire life. And I said to him, I was like, Father Pat, like this is a wedding. It's not a funeral. It could have been a funeral. It's not a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to feel the energy. Like it's exciting. I want people to laugh and have fun. And that's exactly what it was. Like the whole day was just like,
oh, that's amazing.
It was beautiful.
That.
So the church itself, like almost everybody was at the church. The church was full of people. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. It was something that we've looked forward to for a very long time. Our wedding day was our 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
10 years.
Wow.
And I didn't even pick the date. He picked the date. He realized it like a few years ago. He was like, oh, our 10-year anniversary falls on a Saturday. How cool would it be to get married on our 10-year anniversary? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Oh
sure.
My gosh, that's so cute. I love that. Aw, congratulations.
We were engaged for just over 2 years. And I guess I just didn't think that leading up to our wedding, like 6 months before our wedding, we'd have to go through what we went through. And I say we went through because it wasn't just me going through it. He and I went through it.
Yeah.
Our families went through it. And I think it was harder. I personally feel that it was harder on him and our families than maybe me in a sense. More so because I just don't remember a lot. As crazy as that sounds, like I just don't remember what happened. Yeah. I remember a decent amount and people tell me things, but I feel like it was harder on him and my parents and my siblings and his family to see me in the state that I was in
Yeah. Oh
for
my gosh.
a solid like month and a half, 2 months.
That
Yeah,
is I can't even imagine, and I'm so happy that you've mentioned it here, and you mentioned it earlier how you had such a great and have such a great support system. That really makes a difference in every part of life. I cannot even imagine everything that you guys have gone through, but I also think that's so sweet of you to, like, recognize how hard it was for them,
right,
and
right.
I had no idea that you and your husband were together 10 years. Oh my god, that's so cute. I love that. I love that little story.
We started dating in high school. He graduated in 2015. I graduated in 13, so he's 2 years younger than me. And it was my senior year when we started dating. And my dad, oh my god, my dad told me to break up with him. My dad was like, "You're going away to school, break up with him," and I didn't break up with him. And I ended up coming home after a semester for not just him, but I was miserable.
Mhm.
And just somehow like we just grew up together. Yeah.
I
It's
love
it's
that.
crazy it's crazy to say, yeah, but we've really grown up together in all the best ways. So been through a
That's
lot.
that's incredible. Oh my gosh. If only you guys knew everything that you were gonna have to face together. I mean, that's
Yeah.
incredible that you're best friends, first, and he knows
Yeah.
you, I'm sure, through and through, so that is so
Very much
great.
so.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. So how did that, like, come up? Was it something that like, how did you get diagnosed? And actually, we
So
should probably say, like, what exactly is that long word that you just said?
yeah. So it is my tumor that I ended up being diagnosed with, which I didn't find out the kind of tumor until after my first surgery.
Wow.
So it's called a central neurocytoma, and it's actually a pretty rare tumor. My sister-in-law actually first looked it up after I was diagnosed with it. Um, at the time, I think it was like from 2022, there were less than 100 cases of this kind of tumor reported worldwide. Worldwide, not just
Wow.
worldwide.
Wow.
Yep. There's no explanation for the cause of the tumor.
Wow.
There's no there's just no they can't tell me why, they can't tell me how. It was just there. Um and yeah, that's the hard part is like I want a reason. Like tell me why, tell me what I need to do. And there was just
Oh my
no
goodness.
explanation. And it's a benign tumor. This kind of tumor is benign, thank God. So it wasn't cancer because that was our biggest scare. Like that's what we were scared of, is that it was going to be cancer.
Yeah.
And going into my first surgery, we just didn't have a lot of answers.
Yeah.
I think that was probably a scary part of it. Is I just didn't know, what the outcome was going to be, going under. Um, so central neurocytoma, very rare tumor. I am in a Facebook group, and there's like 60 people in this Facebook group that all have the same tumor. Um, and I'm very fortunate because I'm still myself. A lot of these people struggle with, oh God, where do I begin? Speech, physical. Um, they have to do a lot of therapies, and I didn't walk out of the hospital. I got wheeled out in a wheelchair, but
Mhm.
I like came out myself, which is just kind of like I thank God every day for it, because if I wasn't myself, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah. Oh my
It's a
goodness.
lot harder. So yes, very
Yeah.
very it's very
Wow.
rare. So I have always had migraines. I've had migraines since like middle school. And my mom had them. My brother Jake, that he had them. We've all kind of struggled with them in our own way. And I think puberty had a lot to do with it, as most girls kind of struggle
Mhm.
with their own
Mhm.
puberty. So um, I had been on birth control since I was probably 13.
Mhm.
So at that point, I'd been on birth control for probably 12 years. So
Mhm.
last year in July, I stopped it. My husband Kyle and I had talked about it, and I was like, yeah, is it healthy for me to really be on it for this long? Like, it's really been a long time. I'm not a doctor. My OB told me it was fine, but I just felt like I was just on it for so long,
Yeah.
and I was going to get off of it eventually. So I stopped it last July, and we thought that maybe that was a big reason for my migraines. And along with these migraines, I was having like times where I would black out. I would be in a lot of pain where like the insides of my ears would hurt. Now working from home, like I would wear blue light glasses and I'd be on the phone all the time. So I thought maybe that was part of it. And there were just a lot of different things going on. So I just didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I stopped birth control thinking, okay, maybe that will help alleviate some of these migraines. And they ended up getting worse. So I think the birth control actually suppressed a lot of the symptoms. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
stopped birth control, it got worse. So there was one day last summer where we took our dog Bailey for a walk, and these two other dogs kind of came out of nowhere. They were being walked, and one got loose, and I blacked out. Like I was alert. Like I tried to get
Mm-hmm.
to Bailey, and I was still walking, but I blacked out. Like I don't remember anything that happened. And then I had a migraine the rest of the day, to the point where I had to sign off like from work. Like I couldn't keep working. My head hurt so bad. I went and laid down in our basement because it was the only like cold, dark place I could go to. So finally Kyle said, you need to go see the doctor. Like clearly these migraine meds that you have, they're not working. Go see the doctor. So I go to see my like family doctor, my regular physician, who's wonderful. I've seen her for years. She gave me two different kinds of migraine meds, a lot stronger than I had. And within a week, I tried them both, and neither of them worked. Like
Wow.
nothing happened. So I give her a call, and she's like, all right. She goes, let's just go for an MRI. Like, let's just get an MRI, start to rule things out. Mind you, I've had MRIs, CAT scans, like I'm accident prone, I'm used to it. So like to me, it was nothing. So in October, beginning of October, I went to get an MRI. Took myself, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, whatever, I'm used to this. I've done it before, thinking it was nothing. So that same day, we're sitting in the kitchen having lunch, and my doctor calls me. And she was like, oh, like we'll call you, like if it's nothing, we'll send you a message in the portal. If it is something, we'll call you. Within hours of having this MRI, she's calling me. And I just remember standing in the kitchen, like not sure what to say. Like she's like, we found something, we're not sure what it is. Normally I'd bring you in for this, but like you need to go see someone. You need to go see someone now. So she was either going to refer me to Roswell or Dent. My family hasn't had great experiences with Dent before, so I chose Roswell, and I asked her what she would recommend, and she said Roswell. And I said, great, like I'll go to Roswell. Um, so that was a Tuesday. That Friday, myself, Kyle, and my parents all went into Roswell and met with my neurosurgeon, who happens to be one of my grandmother's kindergarten students, which I thought was funny or just ironic. My grandmother taught him kindergarten, so it's just funny how like that connected. So yeah, so she referred us to Roswell, and I just remember standing in the kitchen with Kyle, like kind of in shock. I would say I was in shock for sure, and he was in
Yeah.
shock. Um, and like the first thing I did, I called my dad. My dad, like besides Kyle, like my dad is always like my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember calling my dad, like, Dad, I had that MRI this morning, and like there's something there. Like we don't know what it is. He's like, I'll be right over. And my dad just like dropped everything for that day and like drove over here.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up going to my parents' house to tell my mom because she has a hard time with things like that. So we went and told her in person, and she thought I was pregnant. She thought I was coming over to tell her I was pregnant.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
she saw my face and saw I was crying, and she knew like if I was pregnant, I wouldn't have been crying. I would have been like
Yeah.
happy and beaming.
Yeah.
So that first day like took a toll on all of us. Like we were all just kind of in shock,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out like what we were gonna do. I remember calling my brother Jake and telling him, and he was very supportive. And I called my younger brother Joe, and he doesn't live here, but I called him and I told him. And I'm really close with his wife, my sister-in-law Sarah. She and I are extremely close. She's a sister I've never had, truly, and she's in nursing school. And we talked, and she was like, I just want to hop on a plane and come and give you a hug, because she's like, I don't know what else to do. Um, so that was our first day after we found out about the tumor, and we didn't even know it was a tumor. Like they didn't even know at that point what it was. Um, but in Roswell, they gave us kind of a rundown of what to expect. They sent me for 3 different MRIs and a CAT scan. So we met with the neurosurgeon on a Friday. He said we need to do a bunch of scans to figure out exactly, what it is and what our plan of treatment